We are officially less than 1 week away from UFC 317, headlined by Charles Oliveira and Ilia Topuria. As fun of a stylistic matchup as this does seem, I'm here to tell you that it will not be close. There's a lot of people pushing this narrative that it's Charles, though, like he's the man. Look at what he did to Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje. Give me a break. Ilia is not Justin Gaethje. He's definitely not Dustin Poirier. And I think there is a big sense of false hope that I'm here to crush. Starting off first, if Charles were to be able to win this fight, how would he do it? What is the path he takes? I think there's a couple. I think he needs to make this a wild fight. I think he needs to dominate clinch positions. Every time Ilia gets too close, he needs to clinch. He needs to throw big knees, big elbows, and he needs to capitalize on every single one of these. He needs to be able to weather that storm when Ilia starts his combinations, stop all of his momentum, and do that over the course of this fight to be able to be successful. I think he needs to use his size and his reach. Charles has a very nice teep kick. He has way longer arms. He's a bigger dude overall. He needs to use the size. He needs to use the reach to be able to bully Ilia. And again, that kind of goes hand in hand with the clinch positions. He needs to be able to use the size and muscle him almost. Then he's got to find success in grappling exchanges. This is simple to me because Charles has dominated these over the course of his career, except for maybe the Arman fight and the Islam fight. He needs to be able to get takedowns. He needs to be able to scramble well, find the back, find dangerous positions for Ilia to be in, and do that successfully over the course of this fight to be successful. A lot of the times in the Arman fight and the Islam fight, it just looked like he was out-grappled. He just did not have the tools to be able to wrestle with them. And if that's the case against Ilia, it's going to be a very quick night. Remember who you are. The good old-fashioned Tony Ferguson, remember who you are. I'm a Charles Oliveira fan. I truly am, not lying, I promise. This is not 2020. This is not 2021. This is not 2022. He is 4 to 5 years retired from those moments that we've seen. The Dustin. It's not the same anymore. Charles is 35 years old. He needs to get back into that element he was in during that reign he had, and remember who he is. All right? I know that didn't work for Tony. Maybe it works for Oliveira. I'm not sure. Now we got Topuria's. Close distance. Got to get through that range. Got to get through that size. Needs to close distance. Needs to be able to land big shots to the body. Simple enough. He's got to be patient. I say he's got to be patient because Charles thrives in chaos. We've seen it millions of times. Again, maybe only against Islam was opposite. But in the Justin fight, even against Chandler, he gets dropped, he gets stung, whatever the case may be, and it basically makes him step it up a notch, right? He has this ability to gather himself and push another 10 times harder. In Topuria's case, he needs to be able to understand that and pick his shots wisely to avoid a brawl and avoid giving Charles any chance of winning. I know he said he likes to come forward, but I would love to see a fight where he just avoids these wild grappling exchanges, is patient, picks his shots, picks his combinations, and waits for Charles to make a mistake and leave that chin open, and then he flatlines him. That is the easiest path to victory for Ilia. I mentioned being patient, and I have to give an example. The Josh Emmett fight. This was a royal beating, and people like to discredit this win because he didn't get the finish. This was one of Ilia's best performances ever, and it was a straight-up schoolyard beating for 25 minutes. Take a look at this scorecard. 50-44, 50-42, and a 49-45. Eric Colon was smoking, giving Josh Emmett that first round, but that's all right. This was a beatdown. It was a straight mutilation, and I think Josh Emmett held up better than Charles might. I think that if Topuria just picks his shots, there really isn't a chance that he can lose this. Next up, I got some things to debunk. The TikTok fans seem to have this false reality that Ilia is too small and his power won't translate. Now, I love this. I truly do. Because when you look back at 45ers that go up to 55, there isn't many times where the power just simply hasn't translated. If you seriously, in your right mind, can sit there and say his power won't translate because he's fighting an extra 10 pounds up after knocking out the greatest featherweight of all time, cold, flatlined with one punch, and then the second greatest featherweight of all time, didn't knock him out cold, but that was the first time or second time, if you count the Gaethje drop, he's ever been dropped in his career, and the only time he's ever been knocked out. His power won't translate, they say, and that he's too small. These are some times power has translated at 155 pounds. This is Topuria's first fight at 155 pounds. Jai Herbert practically looks dead. There may not be a pulse on Jai Herbert in this picture. Alexander Volkanovski. Alexander Volkanovski is not a guy who is known for being a power puncher at all. Of course, Volk's got that pop. You know, he's got a little sting to his shots. He makes guys heads snap back. He dropped Islam Makhachev in his first fight at 155 pounds. You could say, oh, he was shooting a takedown. No, he got dropped. He got caught. He was a well-timed, perfectly timed shot, and he dropped him. Good old McGregor. McGregor goes up to 155 pounds and absolutely schools Eddie Alvarez. And let me just say, the power translated. There just isn't a scenario where you can say the power won't translate. And I didn't even add this part into the video, but did we not just see Max Holloway flatline Justin Gaethje? Am I delusional? That's a guy who didn't really knock people out at 45. It was volume. And he flatlined one of the best power punchers at 55. But the power won't translate. He's way too big. Ilia's too small. I love it. Weight classes for a reason. Like, man, give me a break. Arman is the same height as Ilia. They are both 170 centimeters. 5'7". Do I have to remind you, Arman just whooped Charles's ass? You can say, all right, maybe he didn't whoop his ass. All right, fine. He won that fight, right? It was really close, but he won that fight and won all the exchanges. He won on the feet, and the only times you could say that Charles was winning and that you could give him those rounds was 4 submission attempts, which Arman did an incredible job of just not getting subbed. To me, I don't think Arman's grappling or striking is much better than Ilia's. Is he a little bit stockier? Yeah, maybe he does look like Batman a little, but I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference, truly. And I also don't think Arman has the pop, and I also don't think Arman has the striking at all to be better than Ilia and to get Charles out of there. He's just way too big. That's him being shorter than the guy who just got flatlined by Ilia. The greatest chin in UFC history, they said. Just got flatlined. Not flatlined. He just got knocked out. He's just way too big. Well, why are we acting like Charles is some monster? He doesn't look like Dracus du Plessis. He's not an Islam Makhachev. He's not just one of these overblown 55ers that's murdering himself to get there. Yes, obviously I know he was fighting at 45 here, but just come on. He is not that big. Yes, he's got the size, he's got the reach. It's not going to make much of a difference. I really, truly don't believe so. Career difference. This is one of the biggest points because you can compare styles all day long, but you don't know what's going to happen when they get in there. But what you do know is where they are in their career, who has the momentum, and you know one guy based on what he's been doing versus the other guy based on what they've been doing, right? Ilia, 16-0, 28 years old. Best back-to-back wins in UFC history. Yes, better than John Jones, Anderson Silva, George St. Pierre, Mighty Mouse. Everyone. Better back-to-back wins than everyone. The number 1 and number 2 best featherweights of all time KO'd in the same year. All the confidence in the world. You don't understand. This guy truly believes he's unbeatable. And every single time he's said what he's going to do, and he does it. There is a level of this brash ego that he has that just is on another level. It's like when Conor was telling you what he was going to do before he did it. It's like when John was so delusional to say he was the best fighter in the world and he didn't think anyone was going to touch him. And those people didn't. It's at the same level right now. Now we got Charles. 35-10 in the UFC. 10 losses. 35 years old. We know the streak. We know the curse. I know Volk broke it or whatever. That's Volk. He's different. In his last fight, he just went 5 rounds with Michael Chandler. I know he was beating that ass for the whole fight. But in that 5th round, he did get hurt. And he got stung with 3 separate shots to the head. He backed up and was getting battered. I know the shots were to the back of the head, but still, he was getting battered in that 5th round. And by the way, this is the same Michael Chandler who not only a few months later just got 2-0'd by Paddy Pimblett and in the 3rd round finished. Mauled. And Charles Oliveira went 5 and was getting hurt in the 5th. Yeah, he looked good. Maybe you could say, oh, but Paddy was looking for the finish. Charles was looking for the finish. Come on, give me a break. He was looking for the finish the entire time and could not get it. Yeah, he had him running around like this. But he still couldn't get it done, you know? This is his last chance. Charles is 35 years old. He shouldn't have even got the shot. It should have been Arman. But he got the shot. And this is his last chance to do anything and get a belt. Almost, whatever. I had a great career. This is very separate. This is 2 different things. Would this be a different fight in 2021? Yeah, I think so. I think it would have been a little bit closer. I think I'm still picking Ilia. Say, of course, he was the same age as he is now, but for me to sit here and tell you that Charles has a shot in the big 2025. In 2021, sure, it would have been a little bit closer. He has that little edge. I think we're in a different time now. Listen, this fight is not going to be close. If these reasons don't sway you one way, then that's fine, but you're just going to have to witness on Saturday. My prediction is a first or second round KO from Ilia, and don't think that the submission is not in play. We've seen it. Charles gets dropped, and the only time they jump on him, they get a sub. I think Ilia's going to show levels similar to the Eddie and Conor fight. He's going to make it look easy.